Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girlfriend for over 7 years and we've built a fantastic relationship together. But the harsh reality is that me trying to be a good man almost ruined everything. You're a good person, I know that, and I'm the same way. But you've likely already realized that being good doesn't actually get you what you want in life, in sex, and in relationships. But you also don't want to be a jerk because that's just not aligned with your values. I was the exact same way a couple of years ago, and I'm gonna compress 7 years of painfully failing, learning, and winning in the end into 4 of the most important lessons that I've learned, brutally honest lessons that have actually helped me build a great relationship. We'll get right into this. Lesson number 1 is that there is a massive difference between being nice and being kind. Don't worry, I'll break this down for you. You have to understand that women have a very good bullshit detector. She knows when you're being nice to her because you want something in return, or because you're afraid that if you're not nice to her, something bad will happen. Maybe it's a fear of rejection, a fear of conflict, a fear of her leaving you for another man. She will feel that you're not helping her because you want to, but because you're afraid that if you say no, something bad might happen. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, then the exact thing that you were so afraid of, the rejection, the breakup, her cheating on you, will happen like a self-fulfilling prophecy because she loses trust in you. Sounds familiar, right? I know it does because I've been there. So then what can you do instead? Well, I was always being nice because I didn't really trust myself, right? I was actually taught, like many men, to sacrifice myself for others, and I never learned, or rather nobody taught me the skills to actually protect my heart. So I sacrificed myself. My heart got hurt again and again and again. And every time it got hurt, I trusted myself even less. And this was a vicious cycle because me not trusting myself, well, led to my heart getting hurt. And then my heart getting hurt led to me trusting myself even less. I was stuck in this cycle for years. But here's what helped me get out of this. I realized that I can become different without becoming the opposite and going to the other extreme, because that doesn't serve me either. I didn't want to be that jerk, that bully, right? So essentially I realized I can protect my heart while still using my big heart to give to others. Simply put, I realized I can avoid getting hurt while still getting what I want without becoming this cold, women-hating red pill man-child. So I became a kind man instead of a nice guy that I was previously, because a kind man trusts himself and his decisions. He's comfortable in his own skin. He knows what he wants out of life. He's decisive. He's not afraid of rejection or conflict. And because of this, he can be loving to his woman without letting her walk over him. You need to understand that most women don't want to walk over their men, but sometimes they have to because their men have no spine. Most women want their man to be in his power as long as he is inclusive and not this domineering tyrant. Simply put, she doesn't want to decide where to go for dinner. This standard response of whatever you want is a shit response to your woman. That's what you say to your mates when you're out with them, sure, but not to the woman who wants to be loved and feel your mature leadership. But be careful, because she also damn sure doesn't want the other extreme, which is this domineering tyrant that just says, this is how it's going to be done, we're going to this restaurant. Because that's not leadership, that's control. And this leads me to the second lesson, which is something that held me and my girlfriend back for years from taking our relationship to that deeper level. Lesson number 2 is this. She can have a bad day and you can still have a good day. I know this sounds obvious, but please look at your relationship for a moment. What do you do when she is not feeling good? You proudly put everything else to the side and try to fix her problem. But that's not how you support the woman you love. Sure, with your mates, again, right? That's how you help your mates. You try to help them fix their problem. But your woman is most likely not at home in the masculine like your mates are. She's most likely at home in her feminine. And the feminine doesn't want you to solve her problem. She wants something slightly different, and when you try to fix her problem for her, she's really hearing 2 things. Number 1, she hears that you think that she can't solve her own problems, that she's not good enough. And number 2, she hears that you need to solve her problems to feel good about yourself. This one stings, I know, because this was exactly me a couple years ago. I was always trying to help her because, well, I'm a man. I want to be useful. I want to feel like my existence matters to this world. But I had to eventually realize that trying to help her fix her problems is not the way to go here. Not just because it's massively ineffective, but also because it would actually lead to me trusting myself less, because she simply wouldn't accept my help. And there's a good reason for that. My girlfriend is not coming to me for a solution, but to feel heard, to feel understood. And maybe you've realized this in your relationship, how she will sometimes bring up future problems that don't even exist yet, or past problems that, well, are in the past, you can't fix them, or even problems that you and her simply cannot tackle. For a long time, this completely overwhelmed me because, well, right now I can't solve world hunger or climate change, so I felt useless. But then I realized there is one thing that I can do in these situations for her that is incredibly useful and will actually connect us more deeply. And that, brother, is listening. She usually doesn't talk about a problem to fix it. She talks about a problem because she feels bad. And simply talking about it and feeling heard and understood and seen by someone already makes her feel much better. And then she can fix the problem by herself. If, and this is a big if there even is a real problem. If not, she can just let it go. But either way, what you need to understand is her words are the sound of her emotions. Write this one down. Her sound are the words. Nah, fuck, I fucked this one up. Her emotions are the sound of her. Nah. Dude, I fucked it up again. Her words are the sound of her emotions. Maybe you've noticed how women will talk about a problem with each other without ever finding a solution for that problem. And for us men, this seems fucking crazy because when we talk about a problem we have with a mate of ours, we only do it to find a solution to that problem. So back to the start of this lesson. She can have a bad day and you can have a good day. It helps her in no way if you go down into that hole with her. Stay at the top. Make her feel understood, listen to her, and throw a rope down when she's ready to climb back up. But never try to tie that rope into a lasso and try to catch her and pull her back up. She needs to come out of this hole on her own terms, because otherwise she feels like she is not allowed to feel bad. For me personally, being able to let her feel her dark emotions was difficult for me for a long time. I want to protect her. I want to make sure that she's happy, always. But I had to eventually realize that me trying to change her emotions or trying to make her feel better when she's just not feeling good, like the lasso analogy, right? That only really communicates two things to her. Number one, that I'm not strong enough to handle her emotions, her dark emotions. And number two, that she's not allowed to feel like this. And trust me, one of the worst things you can do for a woman is making her feel like she's not allowed to feel what she is feeling right now. And by the way, if you're thinking, yeah, sure, but she should also do good things for me, she should also learn to love me better. Yes, of course she should. But I'm not talking to her right now, am I? I'm talking to you. Because you decided it's time to become a better man for yourself, for her, for your children, or for your future children. And that's honorable. So let's continue with lesson 3, because this lesson will actually help you communicate to her what is important to you and what you need from her. And I know this is fucking scary for you right now because you don't want to upset her. But if you don't tell her, and then naturally, because she can't just smell what you want from her and what you need from her, she will not do what you want, and then you, of course, naturally low-key upset her. So either way, someone is upset and you don't want that. So for me, this was a struggle for a long time. So then how did I kind of hit the golden middle here where no one is upset? I did it by learning and building the skill of setting healthy boundaries. And don't worry, I'm gonna teach you because I know this is scary at the start. I've already filmed an entire episode on this, by the way, it's on my channel, but because I want you to win ASAP, I'll mention the 3 most important things here. Number 1, you don't tell her what to do because that makes her feel controlled, and instead you tell her what you will do if she doesn't meet your boundary. Because that way she feels in control, she feels like you're not domineering her, but she still gets the message of what's important to you. So instead of you telling her, stop shouting at me, you will tell her, if you don't stop shouting, I will leave the room for 10 minutes and then come back so we can continue having this conversation. That kind of stuff, right? Part 2 of setting a healthy boundary is you say the entire truth. A healthy boundary is complete. You don't leave anything out, because if you hide certain things that you want or need from her, that will only lead to resentment. Neil Strauss, the guy who infiltrated the pickup artist cult a couple decades ago and then wrote his book, The Game, and then later on, now he became this super aligned, wholesome family man. He explained this perfectly in another book of his called The Truth, an uncomfortable book about relationships. Fantastic book, by the way. In there he says, or he writes, I forgot the quote, 1 second. Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. In normal language, if I don't tell her what I want, she can't give it to me because she doesn't know, but I will deep down resent her because she doesn't give this to me. And the longer this goes on for, the deeper this resentment goes. So say the entire truth when you set a boundary. Part 3 of setting healthy boundaries, you can let her know that you're angry or frustrated or sad without letting those emotions play out physically. What do I mean? Well, you don't have to let anger turn into aggression for her to get the message. There's a real magic in looking her straight in the eyes and calmly telling her, I love you, but what you did made me really angry. Because that way, she doesn't feel like you're some guy who just can't control himself, basically. But she will still get the message. She will still see that she has crossed a line and that she should avoid that in the future. Bonus point, because I'm generous today, everyone will appreciate a hint here and there on how they can treat their partner better. Because this, if it's communicated in the right way. Because despite what all the red pill man children on the internet tell you, she wants to treat you better. She wants to treat you well. And if you don't believe me, just look at yourself. Would you appreciate it if your woman kindly and lovingly gives you hints here and there on how you can treat her better and love her better? Of course you would. It just makes your life easier. And that's the same for her. That's the same for everyone. And this is really what a healthy boundary is. A hint for your partner on how they can treat you better, which is what she already wants to do anyway. Now, lesson 4. This is by far the most important lesson in this entire video, because I always keep the most valuable, most life-changing insights to the end of these videos, so only guys like you who are actually fully committed to improving their relationship, only guys like you get these gems. So here we go. If she says that she wants you to be vulnerable with her, then she doesn't want your vulnerability. She wants something slightly different, and this is very important for you to understand because it completely changed the way that I approach my relationship and vulnerability in my relationship. So let me break this down for you. Showing your vulnerable sides as a man has been massively encouraged in recent times, which is a good thing, but a lot of men have taken it way too far, including me in the past, because really, she doesn't want to hear about your struggles and problems 24/7, even if she knows that you can handle them, because this leads right back to the whole nice guy behavior, which women just can't trust. She doesn't want to feel like she has to be a mother for you. What she wants instead, what she really wants when she asks you to be vulnerable with her, is she wants to feel you fully. All of you, all of your sides, your dark sides, your light sides, everything there is to you as a person, as a man, because that way, she has something to hold on to, something to connect to, something to feel attracted to. Yes, you heard that right. Let me explain this. Dr. Robert Glover, who wrote the whole book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, that everyone knows about nowadays, he talks about Teflon men, like the cooking pan that nothing can stick to. These are men who hide their imperfections. They have shortcomings and imperfections like everyone else, but they hide them because they're afraid that if people see who they truly are, people won't like them anymore. This was me in the past because, well, I was bullied for 8 years in school, right? So I think it's pretty easily understandable that I was trying to hide those things in myself because I didn't want anyone to have any reasons to attack me. But this went on in this relationship and it led to a lot of problems because I was trying to be so smooth like Teflon. But really what this did is it, first of all, made her see that I'm an insecure liar because nobody's perfect and we intuitively know that as humans, and she also has a very good bullshit detector. But secondly, when she was trying to feel attracted and connected to me, like connect with me like two puzzle pieces that fit together, two magnets that are attracted to each other, she couldn't really do that because there was nothing to click to. My surface was, like I said, smooth. No edges, no nooks, no crannies, nothing to hold on to. And sure, there's evolutionary principles of what's attractive. And then there's a bunch of dorks on the internet trying to sell you their looks maxing course. So they try to convince you that your fucking jawline is the problem. What the hell? As humans, the truth is we are attracted to humanness, to someone who's authentic, to someone who's real. That's why the bad boy gets more girls, because yes, he's a dick, but at least he's honest. But you and me, we don't want to be that guy. So here's our solution. If we look at ancient myths and tales that are thousands of years old that describe human nature, there are 4 masculine archetypes: the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. And if you could relate to me trying to keep up this perfect image, right, this super smooth image, then you are likely stuck in the boyish, immature version of the warrior, which is the hero. And don't worry, it's okay to get stuck there. My camera is overheating. What the hell? It's not even that warm. Anyway, it's not that bad that you're stuck there. Nobody taught you how to actually get to the warrior, and I got stuck there as well. So let me teach you how to actually get to the warrior, because the warrior embodies the kind of vulnerability that she actually wants. Yeah, sorry boys, I don't know what happened there with my camera, but now I'm filming on my phone because my camera will not stop overheating. Anyway, the difference between the warrior and the hero is that the hero tries to keep up this perfect image, right? He's very romantic about his invulnerability, his invincibility. He tries to keep up this perfect image, and in order to do that, he will run into a battle that he can't win, and he will get hurt or even killed. The warrior, on the other hand, he knows his shortcomings. He knows his limitations. He has seen them. He has experienced them. And he's at peace with them, with his dark side, with his shadow, as Carl Jung called it. And so the warrior, he's able to ask for help when he needs help without feeling like less of a man. For your relationship, this means that you should share your depth with your woman. Share your light sides, share your dark sides with her without overwhelming her. Simply share who you truly are deep down. Because the man who can share his depth without making his woman feel like she has to be a mother for him is much stronger than the guy who either tries to hide his weaknesses or completely overwhelms his woman with his weaknesses. And of course, in order to become this man, to tap into this mature warrior energy, you have to first find peace with those sides of yourself. And I'm not telling you here to just be yourself, because realistically, when I heard this advice a couple of years ago, I fucking hated people who told me to just be myself, because I didn't want to be myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't want to stay who I was. And so instead of just being myself, I more and more tapped into my fullest self. Instead of just being myself, I became myself. And I think you know exactly what I mean here. And here's the thing, if you've been struggling to build a great relationship that is fulfilling, that is fun, that is peaceful, and you've looked for the advice, maybe you even read books and you're trying to implement all of this advice, but somehow you just can't seem to move forward, to make progress here, then you're at a point that I was also at a couple of years ago. Back then, I was sabotaging a good relationship without even knowing that I was sabotaging it. And this is actually the relationship that I'm still in. Because in the end, I read Carl Jung's quote, which is one of his many famous quotes, right? But in my opinion, one of the best ones, which is, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is why I was sabotaging a good relationship without even knowing it, and you might be in the same trap. The truth is, you most likely have subconscious patterns that make you ruin good relationships without you even realizing it, because, well, you don't know what you don't know. I was at that point myself a couple years ago, and thankfully I overcame this. And I recently filmed the most fundamental episode that I've ever made on this channel, where I dive deep into the 4 most common and most vicious subconscious patterns that I see men fall into, that I fell into, that a lot of the men that I've worked with in my mentorship to help them improve their relationship also fell into, and this made all of us ruin good relationships. The purpose of this video is to help you overcome these patterns so that you can finally actually implement the good advice that you've heard, and actually through that stop hurting yourself and stop hurting her, and actually build the relationship that you truly want. You can go watch this right now. I'll go surfing now because the waves look fucking epic today. Yes, there is an ocean behind me. I know there's this cool hill with these fucking epic cinematic trees here, but you get the point. You have a great day. Go watch this video right now. I'll talk to you soon.